Rowing does more than bring 8 athletes together to row as one. It unites a boat with nature, working with the elements to excel till the end of the regatta. The Mills crew team wakes up before the sun rises and drives 30 minutes to Briones Reservoir for their 6 a.m. practice. Located in Contra Costa County, Briones Reservoir is home to Mills College, UC Berkeley, and St. Mary's College rowing teams. The reservoir's watershed is 8.5 miles. The crew team only rows 3 miles of it. Briones is owned and operated by East Bay Municipal Utility District, also known as East Bay MUD. Because Briones is a backup drinking water source, East Bay MUD is strict about what recreational activities can happen there. Fishing, swimming, and wading are all not permitted in the reservoir waters. Only the 3 rowing teams are able to use the water under strict restrictions. All crew boats must be inspected before use in order to prevent water contamination. Briones' smooth glass-like water has been the go-to spot for crew practice. According to the Huffington Post, the 2012 USA Olympic team practiced at the reservoir in preparation for London's Summer Games.
There are other places that people row, and if they fall in the water, they have to take a special shower almost immediately because of the water not being safe.
Third-time Mills rower Emily Martin, also known as EMAR, talks about Lake Merced. Located in San Francisco, Lake Merced suffers from soil contamination from the Pacific Rod and Gun Club that was located southwestern edge of the lake. Based on San Francisco Rowing Club rower Ricky Vizinski, the rowers do not have to worry about contaminated water, but due to the 80 years worth of gun debris, the land surrounding the lake must be replaced by clean dirt, costing up to $9.5 million, according to the San Francisco Chronicle. Schools like Santa Clara University have to drive to Lexington Reservoir, which allow other water activities like fishing, paddle boating to happen there. Briones Reservoir's water is for the most part always empty.
The team's like the river, the river's always the same, but it's always changing.
Head coach Sarah Nevin has been coaching for the Mills rowing team for the past 6 years. She's had experience coaching Division I and Olympic rowing teams. As for setting the team's goals, her rowers set them.
My expectation of them is that they try their hardest, because that's something they absolutely have control over. We have no control over how fast anyone else is, but that they're committed to one another, and the pursuit of excellence is the expectation.
Sophomore Ellie Burke was a former basketball player before coming to Mills. Burke says that basketball is completely different to rowing because it's easy to succeed as an individual. In rowing, you and your teammates succeed as one.
Get out of here, go!
I'd say on rowing, it's much more difficult to succeed as an individual, and you're only as good as your worst rower in your boat. It's the most team-oriented sport I've ever been a part of, in my life. I can't think of another sport that it's more required to be exactly in tune with your teammates.
If the rowers are not in unison with one another, then it can affect how the boat moves on the water. Emily Martin says that when she is in the boat, she feels free, having the ability to use so much power.
It can't hurt. Nothing I do and nothing the water can do to me is really going to hurt. So I can try different things to better myself and better my stroke. It might feel weird, but it's not going to hurt. And so that it's really freeing to have that knowledge and that capability.
A rower's relationship with water is an intimate one. Rowers need to be able to read the water in order to be a successful rower. Depending on how the water is, you have to change how you row. Rowers have to look at the current, wind, and tide. If the water is choppy, rowers have to lower their hands a little bit in order to get the blade off the water on the recovery. If the water is smooth like a mirror, the rowers have to get their blade in the water fast. Rowers need to respect the water in order to get their boats moving successfully.
Crew became part of my life. I never stopped. I'm still rowing to this day.
Meredith May joined the Mills crew team in 1989 and has stuck with it ever since. Through the crew team, May was able to create deep and long-lasting friendships. She learned how to be a graceful winner and loser, committing to a goal and pushing beyond pain threshold. Most importantly, May was able to keep in touch with nature on a deep level.
But that's what I love about my sport is you're not really ever in charge, like the environment's in charge, and you have to obey. And I think that that's a good way to live, like to understand that we're here by the grace of something bigger than us, and we need to work with it and not just take what we want or try to mold it into what we want. You have to work with it, and that's why I love sports such as crew that are dependent on the outdoors.
May still continues rowing in San Francisco and doesn't plan on stopping.
Rowing is my church. It's where I go to calm my brain. It's where I go to remind myself to be thankful for things, and it's how I take care of my body and my brain.